Hey everyone, this is Deanna Harris from Femme Fitale Fit Club here today with Sheila Simmons from the Frugal Exerciser,
Hi, everyone.
and we are here to discuss for you all how to begin a workout program. I'm really happy that is spending some time with us to share some of this powerful information, and we hope you find this informative. So first and foremost, hi Sheila, welcome.
Thank you, Diana. I'm glad to be here to share some of my knowledge.
Can you just introduce yourself, tell us some of your background and all of that?
Okay, I've been in the exercise industry for a very long time. I started when back in the 80s, well, and I was in school and I was a business major and I hated it. So my dad told me about this new field called exercise physiology, and that same day I changed my major. And after that, I started getting, I was on the dean's list every year, every quarter because I just loved it. I just found my passion. And then I majored in, say, physical education at University of Illinois and with a minor in biology. And I got my master's at Ball State University in exercise physiology. So I graduated about in 1990, but I came home to Chicago in 88 and started in my field, and I was basically in cardiac rehab at St. Anthony's Hospital,
Okay.
and then I taught aerobics on the side. At that time, they didn't have personal training,
Mhm.
so mainly my career consisted of working in the corporate areas and teaching aerobics on the side. And then in 1995, I got into personal training. And I've been doing personal training boot camps and classes ever since then.
Okay. So
But
what type of clients do you typically train?
and we have a problem right now. I just see it. My battery's running low.
Get a power cord.
Let me go get one. Sorry.
So while Sheila is getting her power cord, Um, part of the reason why we wanted to have this broadcast is because on my blog, I get a lot of questions from family and friends on the best way to start a workout program. And so we want to make sure that we provide you the information that you're asking and seeking, so that you do it the right way and you do it the healthy way, so you don't injure yourself and that you don't
Oh,
also get discouraged. You ready?
yeah.
All right. So what type of client?
Um, I have from someone's a teenager to someone's 90 years old. It varies. It can be, but mainly my clients are people who are trying to get in shape
Mhm.
or they have some rehab issue. But I don't specialize in clients that are trying to get larger, like trying to go into bodybuilding contests. That's not my forte. But basically, rehab, pre and postnatal, cardiac rehab, any of those, just anybody trying to lose weight too and get in shape.
Okay. So, starting out, what have you found to be the most effective way to start a workout program? And let's assume somebody's sedentary, they haven't really been working out consistently for a few months or a few years. What's the safest way for them to get started?
I would say the first thing they need to do is to figure out what route they're trying to take.
Mhm.
Some people are not highly motivated and they need extra help, where others are highly motivated and they can work out on their own. So I have two types of clients of people who are trying to start an exercise program. They come to me and they say that they want to begin, but they don't know where to. And I usually ask the question, are you a highly motivated person? Because if they're not, they're going to have to see me more often. And if they're not, if they are motivated, I can usually see them once a week. So it comes down to if you are a highly motivated person, you can do it on your own. There's a lot of information out there to get started. And for those who are not and they need someone cracking the whip,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
might want to find a buddy or they might want to get a personal trainer.
Okay, but but what are the steps? So I figured out that you know what, I want to get healthier. I want to start feeling better. You know, what's the first step?
The first step I would say is if you don't have any medical issues, is to find out what type of exercise you would like to do. What are your goals? You got to find out what your goals are. So if your goals are just to basically get in shape and to lose weight, you want to start with a cardio program or aerobic exercise program because that's the best exercises to do to lose weight and to get in shape and to burn fat, to decrease your blood pressure, to decrease your blood sugar, to burn fat, burn calories. So you want to start with a aerobic type of exercise. And aerobic exercise is anything that's continuous using the large muscle groups, which are the legs, and it's not stop and start, and it's usually 20 to 30 minutes. So, for example, running, swimming, jogging, stair climbing, walking, roller skating, any of those type of exercises. So you got to find out which one appeals to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how much money you want to spend. So if you don't have a lot of money to spend, I would say you want to start with something that doesn't require any equipment, like walking. And if you don't have any muscle skeletal problems, like run a run walk program, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have more money to spend, you might want to join a club and start using the aerobic exercises machines, or buy skates and go outside and buy skates, that type of thing. So you got to find out what type of sport appeals to you. So that's the first thing you want to do. Secondly, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
hmm So then, after you've done maybe 6 to 8 weeks and you're continuous with your workout, doing it 3 days a week, minimum of 3 days a week, a minimum of 30 minutes, and you want to add weight training,
Mm-hmm.
then you can start on a weight training program or any type of interval program, which requires any resistance equipment like tubes, bands, and dumbbells and things like that. And you can do that twice a week to make strength gains. So you have to go now. So this is what you want to do. So basically you got to find out what appeals to you. Secondly, you want to pick out days. How many days a week you're going to work out? Is it going to be 3 days? Is it going to be 4 days? I found that some people, they even get in shape after doing it 2 days, starting with 2 days, because if you only can be committed to 2 days a week, do those 2 days a week, stick with it, and then maybe eventually you'll add some more days on, 3 to 4 days on. But if you are the type of person that say, well, I'm going to do 5 or 6 days a week, and you know you're going to fail, stick with 1 or 2 days a week, and then eventually add on extra days.
Okay. So it sounds like once you get started, start off slow.
Right.
Start off with cardio, which might be the most easiest and cost-effective way to get started. Try to build up your days that you perform it and remain consistent. And after a certain period of time, then you want to introduce weight training.
Yeah, for example, when I was at the running the government's fitness program, I had a lady there, and she was only committed to 1 day a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, I told her, come down 2 or 3 days a week. She says, no, I can't do that. I can't come down 2 or 3 days a week. So I told her that just commit to that 1 day on Wednesday. And we had a class called It's Been a Long Time. And it was for people who hadn't been exercising for a long time. And it was a low impact aerobics class. But
Okay.
she stuck with it for 6 months. She was there every Wednesday consistently. And then within like 6 months, she added on two extra classes.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to start off slow. If
Right.
you're that personality, you can do that.
Yeah.
But you want to start with slow. You don't want to go crazy and say, well, I'm going to do 6 days a week. Most of the time, you end up being injured anyway when you go do that route. So you want to start slow and eventually build up.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. So, what are the top 5 things people need to keep in mind when they start?
The top 5 things I would say is if they're going to be committed, make sure they're committed. 2, pick out days they're going to work out. Those are the top 5 things. So that's number one.
Mhm.
What is their commitment level? Because it all comes down to commitment.
Mhm.
So I would say number one is commitment. What you can be committed to for, if it's 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week. Number one. Two, how much time you're going to spend on the exercise. Is it going to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour?
Mhm.
Then that would be the second one. Number three, how much money are you willing to spend on this exercise? Is it going to be basically walking, or are you going to be it's going to take a lot? Like it's going to take clothing, it's going to take classes, it's going to take all that. So that would be number three. Number four would be what I forgot the question already. What was the
So what are the top 5 things someone needs to keep in mind when they want to start
okay.
the workout program?
Number six, eating will come eventually.
Okay.
Don't throw too many things in the fire at once. So if you are just starting and getting back into shape, you don't want to say, well, I got to work on stop smoking, I got to work on losing weight, I got to work on doing exercises. Start with one goal. If it's going to be eating, that's fine. If it's going to be stop smoking, that's fine. If it's going to be exercise, that's fine. But don't commit to too many things because you're going to fail. To one goal. So if it's going to be exercises, do that first, and then eventually do another thing like maybe changing your eating habits. That's number. I would say that would be secondary. Because I had a client that I was getting her ready for her wedding, and we started training, and I said, okay, this week
Yeah.
she said she's not committed to exercise, so I trained her twice a week, and then I told her to do exercises on her own twice a week, and it was treadmill exercises, in fact. And then I also told her about eating. So next week I saw her. She was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm about to quit. I just want to stop. And I said, well, you know what? Let's don't worry about eating right now. And I said, let's just
Yeah.
commit to, you just commit to giving me 2 days a week on your own. Just do that. And then maybe in about 6 weeks, we'll talk about your eating habits. And then she was very successful. I almost lost her, but we also joke about that now because I guess I threw too many things on her because I knew she was getting married in a few months, and I said, okay, we got to do all this. And so I learned my lesson too on that. And I said, start with slow.
Yeah, you got to kind of gradually got to get into it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then number five. Okay, number five, I would say keep a diary. Keep a diary. Do something like if it's a diary, a picture diary, or a written diary, or a written and a picture diary. It's up to you. But you want to show something like I did one. I used to do this with my clients, but now I have them take a picture, front, side, and back. And they're actually showing their stomach, their arms. They usually don't want to do it, but when we take their picture in 4 months, they are really happy that we did. Because sometimes when you see yourself all the time, you might see your clothes you might see it on the scale, you might see it in your clothing, but you don't see it visually. A lot of times we look at ourselves and we say we're not making a gain. So when I take that picture again, they can look and say, oh, that roll was gone. My stomach's flat. I don't have that back roll. So I would say actually the best thing to do is to take a picture of yourself.
It's hard, but it's probably one of the best things they could do, right?
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
So you talked about food. That was part of my next kind of question. What are some tips to help people deal with that food issue? Because food is all around us, and food is very social. We're very social, and I mean, it's just hard when you are used to eating a certain thing, or you were taught that certain things were healthy, and then to make that adjustment. So how do you help? What advice would you give to people trying to manage that food thing?
Well, I usually have two groups. I usually have the people are very knowledgeable and they know what to do. Then I have a second group who are not knowledgeable at all about food. And those people are the easiest ones to work with, the people who are not knowledgeable, because what I usually do is I start them out slowly. I'm usually like, okay, let's say that you are used to eating, if you're, let's say, a meat eater and you eat a lot of fried foods. So what I do is I say, let's start slow. If you're used to eating fried meat 6 days a week, 7 days a week, let's cut it back to 2 or 3 days a week, and eventually 1 day a week, then eventually, once a month, that type of thing. If you're a sweet eater, I say let's just maybe cut back. If you're eating sweets every day, let's try to start slowly and cut out sweets. Maybe just eating it 3 or 4 days a week, after your dinner. If they don't drink enough water, if that's another issue, I usually say let's start with 4 glasses of water, and then eventually let's continually increasing our water intake to 8 glasses a day. So I find that those people are easiest to work with, and I think that once you're starting an eating program and you're new to it and you don't know a lot about it, is to start slowly cutting out things you normally do and that are not good for your health. Like if you're a person that eats at a fast food restaurant 6 days a week, start cooking at home more. There's a lot of websites out there. I tell them about cooking, like the American Heart Association, American Dietetics Association. Go on there and try to do a meal, try to cook a meal 3 or 4 times a week. And if you're used to eating out 7 days a week, try to take it down to 3 days a week, that type of thing. So I try to wean them out slowly. If they don't eat breakfast. And a lot of people say to me, oh, I don't eat breakfast, I don't have time to cook. I don't either. My meal is usually, because I'm in the car, I have my first client at 5 in the morning, I said a piece of fruit can be your breakfast. It doesn't have to be eggs, bacon, grits, oatmeal. It can be a piece of fruit and a fiber bar. That's a dinner. I mean, that's a breakfast. A lot of people are surprised by that too. But I always tell them to incorporate breakfast. Another thing I tell them to do is cut down on their portion sizes, portions of their meals. For example, I had a lady who was going to Subway. And I was like, oh, that's great. I said, you go to Subway all the time? She said, yeah, I usually get the 12-inch sandwich. I was like, oh, that's too much, She said, let's cut it back down. Let's cut it down to 6 inches. And she was like, 6 inches? There's no way. And then after I told her to do it, she tried it, and she said, you know what? I found that I've been eating too much. 6 inches was fine. I didn't really need to get the 12-inch sandwich.
Okay.
So another thing you can do is cut down on portions. So if you're, let's say you bake rice at night for your family and you usually get 2 cups of rice. I usually talk about servings. You want to look up what a serving of your starches are. If a serving of pasta is a cup, that's what you're supposed to have. Serving of rice, cooked rice, is a half a cup. That's what you're supposed to have. So another way is cutting back on your servings. Not cutting back on cutting back on your portions.
Portions, yeah.
Portion control. And I think a lot of Americans, it's not what we eat, it's how much we eat. Most of us. It's not what we're eating, it's how much we're eating.
Right.
And I have another client. She's just getting started, and she said she went to Wendy's the other day, and I told her, okay, what did you get? And she said, oh, I got the double stack burger or whatever it is. I don't know. But I told her, I said, why not a kid's meal? You could have gotten a kid's meal. That's the same thing. And she said, I never thought about it like that. I said, yeah, it doesn't have to be like a huge, big burger. If you have a desire to get a fries and a shake, and get a child portion size meal instead. So a lot of it is portion control too.
Okay. Well, one last question that I have before we wrap is support. What tips do you have for people to try to recruit support so that they're not feeling alone and that they're doing this all alone?
Okay. Over the years, I've had people who wanted to do group training. They have a girlfriend or they have a group of friends. And I usually tell them, if you're going to start training and you have a girlfriend or a group of friends, you got to make sure that they're committed. Okay?
Mhm.
Because what'll happen, you're going to be left holding the bag and paying more for the training because you got with somebody who is not committed. So buddy programs are the best. I think a buddy exercise program is one of the best ways to go if you want to be to get in shape because they get you out of the bed. They tell you, "Come on, let's go." But you got to find somebody is as committed as you are. You
Yeah.
know, they want to lose weight as much as you are. They have that desire, burning desire to get in shape. And if you have someone who's not committed, it's not going to work. So I would say when you're out there looking for, you got to find someone that's just as committed as you are in getting in shape. And sometimes it lasts and sometimes it doesn't. But maybe to start off with, you want to find someone who is really, just, you can ask them questions like, are you going to be there 3 days a week? Are you going to, if I call you in the middle of the day and I say I'm going to eat this fat burger, are you going to give me encouragement? Are you going to text me? Are you going to get up? Or if you set a time and say you're going to exercise in the morning, are you going to get up with me? And if they're him and haw about it, then you know that's not the best partner for you.
Right. Right. Well, thank you for joining us, Sheila. Now, how can our viewers find you? How can they
Okay,
find out
they
more
can
about your
find
site?
me on the frugalexerciser.blogspot. So I tell people they because it's a long, I got to change it to .com, but
Right.
all they have to do is Google the frugal exerciser, the in the beginning, and you'll find me there. Or you can go on Facebook and put in the frugal exerciser, and you can find my Facebook page. And also on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel now, and it's called The Body Workout TV1, all scrunched together. So it's The Body Workout TV1, and you can go there and see my videos also.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sheila. You have a wonderful Memorial Day. And thank you all for watching.
Okay,
Bye.
okay, that was quick.
I know.
Bye.